It appears as though the apocalypse will be here at any moment now, and some are preparing like never before. The idea of protecting yourself from a full-blown nuclear war has crossed the minds of many ever since the 1940s. Even celebrities like Dan Bilzerian have caught on with the trend. From old missile silos being transformed into strongholds to the White House's personal tunnel system, here are 13 apocalyptic doomsday bunkers.
Hey guys, this is your host, American Eye. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy that video.
Number 13. Europa 1. A recent trend among billionaires seems to be doomsday bunkers, and more wealthy people are beginning to construct massive underground facilities. The end of the world will come someday, but the richer will be one step ahead of the game, living life underneath the uninhabitable Earth. But these aren't your everyday simple bomb shelters, these are massive underground mansions. The Vivos company specializes in turning former Cold War bunkers or missile silos into mighty fine living quarters. Europa 1 is the name of the bunker in Rothenstein, Germany, where many facilities can be enjoyed. You might even want to live here if the world wasn't ending. This photo here shows an amazing mega pool with its brown tiles fancy enough to satisfy the rich, and you have no idea it's completely underground. For a private apartment here, it would cost you €2 million. But if you only want a semi-private suite, it's about €35,000. Number 12. The Apocalyptic Inn. In 2014, condos were built within a decommissioned missile base located in Kansas. If the missile base can withstand a nuclear war, it should be safe against zombies. Should. The condos are housed behind 9-foot concrete walls, and people here have access to their own food and water supplies. Set to be built in rural Kansas, it would have been likely to be one of the last places affected by whatever's going on. The room features artificial windows, large TVs, and some even have swimming pools. Staying in tip-top shape should be a priority, considering the fact that if you encounter a zombie, you will certainly have to engage in some cardio. Svalbard Global Seed Vault. If the world were to come to an end or certain species of plants were to go extinct, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault has their back. Located only 800 miles south of the North Pole in Norway lies a vault that has a set goal on preserving plant diversity and holding on to large amounts of seeds in case of an emergency. More than 400,000 crop seeds are stored here and include seeds for 32 varieties of potatoes. The Norwegian government has spent $9 million on this facility, and maybe someday, who knows, it may be useful. Number 9. Colin Firth's bunker. This British billionaire set himself up with a doomsday bunker in his backyard. Right now, he's using it as a man cave, but considering that it's 30 feet underground, it could work pretty well for protecting himself against a tragedy. Many of us have probably thought about building a bunker, and seeing someone actually take the time to do it should keep you motivated. The time and money may well be worth it. He took it pretty seriously too, using concrete. We can't give away all his secrets, but it looks like he's got something figured out pretty well. Number 8. Raven Rock. You better believe that the president's got his own personal nuclear apocalypse bunker, and it's off limits to tourists. You definitely won't be coming here anytime soon unless you're able to join the Secret Service. This underground complex is known as Raven Rock, and it's a vast system of tunnels near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania. It serves as the Pentagon's replacement in case of a nuclear attack on Washington, D.C. Not too far away are coal-producing areas in the Appalachian Mountains, and they can always resort to using that for energy if something goes wrong. Who knows where the underground tunnels lead to? For all we know, they got their own personal underground freeway that connects D.C. to Raven Rock. They got their zombie apocalypse strategy figured out. Number 7. The White House Underground. The White House is, of course, the official residence of the leader of the free world. Guests are allowed to visit parts of it, but much of it are still left a secret. Beneath the White House lies a vast system of underground bunkers, as well as the underground West Wing Command Center. This portion of the White House was constructed in 2010, shrouded in secrecy. When the bunker was being built, it was covered up with tall fences that went around the West Wing. The tall fences and the visible bulldozers led many conspiracy theorists to outrageous ideas. But what else could they have constructed here that they're not telling us about? The Obama administration gave 2 reasons for the bunker. 1, to protect key people and data in order to render critical decisions. And 2, the secret relocation of the president and his Secret Service during a case of an emergency. Guests are allowed to visit the Oval Office if it's not being used. If no one's looking, you might be able to search for the secret trapdoor located underneath the president's desk that will lead him directly to the secret underground bunker. Didn't hear from us though. What else could they be hiding from us underground? Are they preparing for a zombie apocalypse as well? Number 6. The Dan Bilzerian Armory. So yeah, we don't know what this closet full of firearms is worth, but it's gotta be expensive. Dan Bilzerian seems to have enough weapons to supply his own militia. Whatever he's got there in his hand seems pretty intimidating as well. We understand the Second Amendment, but if someone breaks into this guy's home, how will he ever choose which gun to select? This photo here of his armory seems to show some 50 caliber machine guns in the lower middle section. He allegedly had his home in Hollywood broken into, but the criminals were unable to access the locked armory. Other tabloids claim that some of his weapons were confiscated by the LAPD. This might be a good reason not to show your gun room to the public on social media. Number 5. Tito's Underground Air Base. This formerly secret Air Force base operated under the Yugoslavian government and is located between the Bosnian and Croatian border, and it's one of the largest underground bases in Europe. Construction on this massive project began in 1948 to 1968, and it cost a reported $6 billion, making it also one of the most expensive military bases in Europe. This base was built to be sturdy enough to withstand a 20-kiloton nuclear bomb, deploy radar detection systems, and as a secret underground air base to store all kinds of planes, tanks, bombs, you name it. It was put to use during the early 1990s during the Yugoslav wars. However, it was also discovered and bombed eventually. The base was abandoned at the end of the war, but not everyone is left. Number 4. Fort Knox. You certainly will not begin a tour when trying to visit the inside of Fort Knox, because this is somewhere you're not allowed to go. It used to be home to the gold bullion supply of the United States, and it's heavily fortified. Only a few people are allowed inside. The vaults are reinforced and protected with blast-proof security. You might want to pick another place if you want to pull off a heist. Places like Fort Knox spare no expense in guarding our gold supply, and it's made from reinforced concrete. It's hard to say exactly what's going inside this doomsday bunker, but they're sure prepared to stand ground. Living off the grid. Preparing for various possible attacks, including electronic pulses, has made many consider living off-grid. Modern human life is dependent on electricity, so imagine massive power outages all across the world. People at first would think nothing of it for weeks, until mass panic strikes the globe. Those who prepare to go off-grid certainly have a better chance of survival, such as the Amish in Ohio and Pennsylvania. They grow their own food, provide their own shelter, have their own source of water, and are skilled in crafting various items of wood. The Amish might stand a better chance of living through an EMP than most of us city dwellers. A farmhouse could potentially be transformed into a bunker with the installation of solar power. Since a large amount of our currency is basically just a bunch of numbers in a computer, and very little of it is actually owned as cash, people would instantly become broke. Being prepared for people who have nothing left to lose is always a must, so make sure you lock your doors. This photo here is of what's known as a safe room, and perimeters can be monitored with surveillance cameras. Number 2. Noah's Ark. This is basically a movable doomsday bunker which has the capability of surviving more than just one scenario. A prepper by the name of Liu Qiwan came up with something that's been called the Great Ball of China, or what he calls Noah's Ark, in order to survive the apocalypse. This can survive the strength of a tsunami, the cold temperatures of the Arctic, and even debris from an earthquake. So we're guessing it should be safe against zombies. It's airtight with oxygen masks and plenty of food, water, and even seatbelts. This should prevent the user from biohazard and chemical attacks. Living your life inside a ball may not be for everyone, but this could be a useful device depending on the scenario. And number 1. North Korea bunkers. If you're a politician who's threatening world peace with nuclear devastation, then you should probably get a doomsday bunker. Who knows when he may bring on the end of the world? North Korea has their own bunkers fit for Kim Jong-un in Pyongyang in case the US or other countries decide to retaliate against them. The bunkers may be fairly simple, but they made it clear that many other operations have gone underground, especially their nuclear program. He's rumored to have a very complex underground system of tunnels, and many would agree that it would be extremely difficult to find them. Some of the tunnels lead to caves in the mountains, which almost make it like finding a needle in a haystack. They've been masters at creating tunnels, and South Korea has sniffed out many that they've built, which have come directly underneath the demilitarized zone. Some intel reports say that he may have an underground bunker that can hold on to more than 30,000 people.